Welcome back to today's video. I'm playing Planet Coaster. In today's video, we're going to be finishing up the 1950s Woody area, or not finishing up, but starting it, and then also finishing up the teacups. So, the 1950s Woody, it's just simple out and back layout, mostly modeled by, what the original Thunderhawk was, or coaster at Dorney Park, which is now Thunderhawk, but before Thunderhawk was changed up, I pretty much copied that over here. And with one big change in that the maintenance track is in the very end of the ride instead of the beginning. But originally I did have this exit going over this part of the coaster, but I made it to where it goes under, and then underneath here, just because now there ain't the supports there, I just put in some metal beams just to help hold up the track there. And so obviously that will allow for it to stay up there and just stay connected and well in there. So this way it doesn't break when a train goes over it. And with allowing this to go under, it just looks a whole lot nicer, and also is a whole lot quicker for people to get out, and then if they want to, they can get back into the queue, or they can go to somewhere else in the park. And then we have a Insanity, a 360 power, and a Ferris wheel. And then this space here, while it doesn't look like a whole lot, with a path covering, this will be quite a big space. This will be big enough to fit trucks and different vehicles to cut through to get to this maintenance area, which will be back here for just mostly the buildings and stuff up front here, and then also probably just to store some stuff for the park. But I'll get to work on the area, and then I'll go out for y'all once I'm done with what I'm going to do in this episode. But I'll see you in just a little bit. Alrighty, so I did the part of the area that I'm going to do in this episode. So to start off, we have our main pathway here, and this just brings us down to here, and where our two flat rides as I did for this episode. I also did basically the whole entire main area for this part that we're going to be working on between this episode and the next. And so all I'll have to do is pretty much the queue path, exit, and the exit for the Woody, Ferris wheel, and then also the Insanity. And so I'll just need to get those done, and then after that we'll continue expanding in the next episodes after that. But just have some trees here just to fill up this area. Just felt like that I should put in a big planter here just to help match with this, and also just to make this path feel isolated and make it to where it just was a long corridor, but even though it's just to allow people to flow from our impulse coaster and the teacups out of here. And then this path just will bring you all the way back to our hyper coaster, and also another coaster will go in here. We do have a food unit for the area, and this is a little fish and chip shop. Which, if you don't know what fish and chips are, it's a food from the UK. It's British, obviously. And it's essentially just fried fish with fries, as you would call it in the US, but they call it chips in UK. And so I just have the little fries thing, and then I put in the fried sushi shop just to match it, because seafood and, well, fries. And then we just have the little lines put in here, and then I did want to just change up the brick for it. And this, I found a shop in the UK that I liked the look of, and so I kind of just tried to model it after that, and I just put a whole little fish and chip signs on it, and just wanted to make it feel very tacky and not like it's family owned, something like that. Little seating area for it over here. Now we have the back area for it, just some storage stuff for stuff in the area, and then also mostly storage stuff for the fish and chip shop. And then we have our 360 power, but on the right here, we have our teacups. And these obviously were from the last episode, but I just finished them up because the whole queue line was over here, so I didn't do it in the last episode. And then these bushes are all here to hide the pad, which, speaking of which, this bush, we could actually bring it forward a little bit, and this would help hide the pad a bit better. And so that I just use those to hide the pad, and it fairly does it pretty well. And then this right here, this is normally an exit, but I just put a fence here and then call it a day, because the guests only use this entrance and this entrance for getting in and out of the ride area. It also doubles as a barrier to keep people outside of the ride area too, so this way people don't get hit. We have a floodlight here. This works for both the 360 power and the teacups cattle pen. And we just have the Nerd Cowl pin for the 360 power, and here's our 360 power. And it flings you pretty much over the water, which I really do like, which I'm going to incorporate that with another flat ride that I plan to put in this space maybe, but I might not, just because of a transport ride that we're going to put in here. And we should be able to achieve this park size with the amount of percent. I did try to fit in all but 2 of the coasters, and one of them is going to be a little family coaster, spoiler alert. And so even with those, the Oswald counter should be still good, because we still had like 50% even with the boat ride in. I know the family coasters maybe a percent, and the other coaster will go in over here, which will probably be like maybe 5% at most, just because it's going to be a fairly big attraction. But come back over to here, that's pretty much it. But I do want to talk a bit more about our Woody. So this coaster, as I said earlier, would be from the 50s. It would be probably later 50s, and I just modeled it after roller coaster, or what was Thunderhawk before it got redone. And so that's just pretty much just a brief little overview of the wooden coaster. But I just want to go over also how the park would have developed. So there would have been probably a couple small coaster additions throughout the years since this one, which just would have been probably the first big one. But this would have been the first one of the more modern ones. This would have been added in probably the early 90s. And then the Impulse Coaster would have been the second one. This would have been the later 90s. And then the coaster that will go in here, which I don't want to spoil it, but that would have been probably the early to late 2000s, or not early, but mid to late 2000s. And then the family coaster would have just been fit in somewhere, and then the hyper coaster would have been put in probably most likely in the early 2010s. But that is pretty much the timeline of the park. And then also to talk about the wooden coaster, I did get a name for it. I know I was talking about that in the first episode. Someone did suggest a name. You know who you are. I'll reveal the name in this episode for the wooden coaster, but that we'll talk about then. But that'll be it for the video. Do hope you enjoyed it. Have like, subscribe, and do hope to see you next one. Bye!